Hi guys, Eevee Guy here. Welcome to a new episode. Today I will do a grass type Nuzlocke challenge. So welcome to episode 2 of my grass type Nuzlocke. If you didn't see the first episode, go check it out. This is going to be a special kind of monologue that I will try to do. Each generation divided by episodes. And this episode will start in Johto, in the Gen 2 games. So Johto gives us 100 Pokemon more. And all of those 100 new Pokemon, they only give us 4 new grass types. Well, one of them being an evolution of a Gen 1 Pokemon. Today we will be playing Pokemon Silver, and the grass type Pokemon you can have is Oddish, Paras, Bellsprout, Execute, Tangela, Chikorita, Hoppip, and Sunkern. Grass types are not the best in Pokemon games. They are weak against fire, ice, poison, flying, and bug types, but they are strong against rock, ground, and water types. So with a little love and patience too, of course, I'm sure we can lead them to victory. So the rules for this challenge is: if a Pokemon faints, is dead and must be boxed or released. I can only catch the first grass type, or that will become a grass type Pokemon after evolve in each route. Every time I defeat a gym leader, that gym will be my checkpoint. If I black out, I must reset from the last checkpoint. I will be playing in set mode. I will use HM Mules if I need to. It's not really a rule, but you get me. My level cap will start level 15 and increase always 5 levels for the next gym. If it goes over level, I will put it in the box until it can be used again. This means I will not use the normal level cap from the gym leaders. For the first gym I will be level 15 and the second gym I will be level 20 and so on. This means this rule will bring advantages, but it will also bring disadvantages for myself. But of course I will still try to match the levels from the gym leaders, if I need to, the ones below the level of course. Number 7, I can't heal in battle. I'm only allowed to use health items. And since this is the second episode, I want to add a new rule to this challenge. Every time I use the same time from the second time or onward, this rule will activate. So, number 8, I can't use Pokemon that already faint in previous generations. So, last episode with aka Vileplume died, so I can't use it in this new episode. But wait, I still can catch Oddish, because Oddish got a new evolution, Blossom. So every time I catch an Oddish, I am forced to evolve it into Blossom. I can't evolve it into Vileplume, but Blossom doesn't go against the rule. I just wanted to make this clear before someone in the comments starts to say that I'm breaking my own rule. I'm not. With aka Vileplume was the one that died. Rest in peace with. Blossom still is available. Different Pokemon from the same family. So put a like on that video, subscribe to my channel if you will appreciate, and come with me in this adventure. So our place right now is a new Bark town, and we will choose Chikorita, obviously, and name it Leafblade. And the rival fight is very easy. I first go with Growls to lower Cyndaquil's attack, and then after our berry heals us, I go for Tackle to win the fight. After we get Pokeballs, the run officially starts. On Route 30 I catch a Bellsprout, which I name Plant Whip. After some level up, I go challenge Falkner, the flying type gym leader. He starts with PG, and I go with Plant Whip, and I go for Sleep Powder to put it to sleep. While it sleeps, I go for 6 Growth, and then I use Vine Whip to finish PG. Next is Pidgeotto, and 2 Vine Whips put it down, winning the first batch. After some level up again, Leafblade evolves into Bayleaf, so it's time to face Bugsy, the bug type gym leader. She starts with Metapod, and I go with Leafblade. I go for Poison Powder first, and then I attack with the Tackle, which Metapod eventually goes down. Next is Kakuna, and I change for Plant Whip, and immediately put it to sleep. Then I go for Growth. Kakuna wakes up sometimes, but I put it back to sleep. After 6 Growths, Kakuna goes down with Vine Whip. Next is Scyther, and as soon it comes out, I put it to sleep, and I attack it with Vine Whip until it goes down, winning us the second batch. On Route 33, I catch an Hoppip, Leaf Balloon. Next is the rival fight. He starts with Ghastly, and I go with Plant Whip. He goes with Hypnosis, but it misses, so I'm the one who puts him to sleep with Sleep Powder. I go with 3 growths, and then I attack with Vine Whip, but Ghastly managed to put Plant Whip to sleep with Hypnosis. After sleeping for 5 turns, Plant Whip finally wakes up and finishes off Ghastly with Vine Whip. Next is Quilava. It's faster, so it lands an Ember, where Plant Whip survives with only 1 HP, before putting Quilava to sleep. Then, fortunately, it continues to sleep until it goes down with Vine Whip. Last is Zubat, so I change for Leaf Blade. After low its attack on one stage, I go for tackle multiple times until Zubat goes down, winning the fight. Then on nighttime, on Neelix Forest, I catch an Oddish, and since this is not the same Oddish from Kanto, I name this Oddish Blossom. Then after some level up, Leaf Bloom evolves into Skiploom, Blossom evolves into Gloom, and Plant Whip evolves into Whip-and-Bow. So it's time to face Whitney, the normal type gym leader. She starts with Clefairy and I go with Plant Whip. And you already know how this goes. I put it to sleep, of course, and then I go again with 6 growths, and then I use Vine Whip, Hokoing Clefairy. Next is Miltank, and it still managed to land a Stomp and flinch Plant Whip. But on the next turn, Plant Whip puts Miltank to sleep, and then 2 Vine Whips puts Miltank down, winning us the 3rd batch. So it's time to face Morty, the Ghost type gym leader. He starts with Ghastly and I go with Plant Whip. And of course I go for the same tricks. I go Sleep Powder and then 3 Growls, then 2 Vine Whips and Ghastly goes down. Next is Haunter and I put it to sleep, and then 3 more Growls, and then 2 Vine Whips and Haunter goes down. Next is Gengar and again 1 Sleep Powder and Gengar goes down with 3 Vine Whips. Last is the second Haunter, which goes down with 2 Vine Whips, winning us the 4th batch. Next I go get the Headbutt TM, because I just love this attack, and I teach it to Leaf Balloon. And on National Park I catch a Sunkern, and I name it Sunny Seed. So moving on forward, it's time to face Chuck, the fighting type gym leader. It starts with Primeape and I go with Blossom. Of course I go with the same strategy. Sleep Powder to put Primeape to sleep, and then I go for Acid and the last cut and Primeape goes down, so next is Poliwrath. I was confident that I didn't need to use Sleep Powder here, so I go first with Absorb, but it only takes a little damage. When I decide to go for Sleep Powder, Poliwrath lands an Hypnosis and puts Blossom to sleep, so I change for Plant Whip, which receives a Dynamic Punch and gets confused. I try to go Sleep Powder, but it hits itself in Confuse and Poliwrath lands another Dynamic Punch, which leaves Plant Whip with only 11 HP. So I change back for Blossom, which receives another Dynamic Punch. How can a move of 50% accuracy hits 3 times in a row? And of course Blossom gets confused. Fortunately Poliwrath misses the next Dynamic Punch, so after Blossom wakes up, Poliwrath puts Blossom back to sleep. Are you kidding? After using Mind Reader, Dynamic Punch hits again. Blossom wakes up again, but Poliwrath puts Blossom back on the Dreaming World. And after a Surf, Blossom it's too low on health, so I change for Leaf Blade, which takes a Surf. Then I use Poison Powder on it just in case of another sleep shenanigans, which it does with Hypnosis again. But since it's poison, doesn't matter, it will take damage over time. I stole some time, then I change for Leaf Balloon, which takes a Surf. Then I try to go for Headbutt, but of course Poliwrath uses Hypnosis, putting Leaf Balloon also to sleep. After some damage, which Leaf Balloon survives on 10 HP, Leaf Balloon actually wakes up and finishes off Poliwrath with Headbutt, winning us the 5th batch. Damn, that was close. I never thought it would be difficult to win a water type using grass types. This is my team after the battle. What the Before I face Jasmine, I decide to level up a little bit my team, which Leaf Balloon evolving to Jumpluff. After that I go face the Steel type gym leader, so she starts with Magnemite and I go with Plant Whip. And some tricks, Sleep Powder, next Growths, and then Vine Whips and Magnemite goes down. Next is Steelix, and first I go for Sleep Powder, and then 2 Vine Whips, put it down. Last is the second Magnemite. I go for Vine Whip, which leaves Magnemite on the red. Magnemite still managed to paralyze Plant Whip, but it doesn't matter, another Vine Whip puts Magnemite down. and we win our 6th patch. Then using Headbutt on the Lake of Rage, I found an Execute and I name it Palm Tree. Welcome back to the team, buddy. After some more level up, it's time to face Price, the Ice type gym leader. He starts with Seal and I go with Blossom. First I go with Sleep Powder and then I go with Acid on Seal until it goes down. Next is Dugong. Dugong is faster and he still managed to land an Aurora Beam, which makes a good damage before it goes to sleep. Then I go for Absorb a few times, but unfortunately Dugong wakes up and lands another Aurora Beam. So I decide to change for Leaf Blade, which takes another Aurora Beam, but Razor Leaf takes it down, so next is Piloswine. And I go for Synthesis, and unfortunately Piloswine connects with Blizzard, and Leaf Blade goes down. I bring Leaf Balloon, and knowing it's faster than Piloswine, I go for Sleep Powder. Then I change for Blossom, and then I use Absorb to damage Piloswine and heal Blossom at the same time. Price still heals Piloswine, but thanks to a crit, Blossom puts Piloswine down, winning us the 6th patch. But man, I wasn't happy. We got our first death on the team, my starter. Rest in peace, Leaf Blade, you did well. After I level up Palm Tree, I decided it was time to evolve it into Executor using the Leaf Stone that I got and evolve Blossom into, well, Blossom, with the Sunstone that I got from the Bug Dentist. On Route 44, I found a Tangela and I named it Vine. Welcome back to the team. After some level up, it's time to face Claire, the Dragon type gym leader. She starts with Dragonair and I go with Palm Tree. First, I go with Hypnosis and then 2 Egg Bombs are enough to put Dragonair down. Next is the second Dragonair and I go again with Hypnosis. And then 1 Egg Bomb and then Strength and Dragonair goes down. Next is the third Dragonair. This time I go only for Egg Bomb, thinking it will finish it off, but Dragonair holds onto the red, which gives it the chance to use Thunder Wave to paralyze Palm Tree. Fortunately we connect with Strength and Dragonair goes down. Last is Kingdra. I tried Hypnosis, which this time doesn't work while Kingdra fires a Hyper Beam. I tried again while Kingdra recharges, but we get fully paralyzed. On the next turn, Kingdra goes again for Hyper Beam. Unfortunately, our Hypnosis hits, putting Kingdra to sleep. And then 2 Egg Bombs are enough to put Kingdra down, winning us the last patch. Now it's time to face the Elite Four, but first we need to face our rival in the Victory Road. It starts with Sneasel and I go with Plant Whip. It goes for Faint Attack and I go with Sleep Powder. While it sleeps, I go for 6 Growth. During that time, Sneasel wakes up and lands 2 Fury Cutters, while the acid from Plant Whip leaves it on half. Plant Whip is very low on health, so I need to switch. I put those growth for nothing. I change for Blossom, which takes a Fury Cutter more stronger than usual. I forgot it gets more stronger every time it's used, leaving Blossom with 9 HP. So I change for Leaf Balloon, which takes another Fury Cutter, almost on half, and then a Headbutt takes Sneasel out. Next is Golbat and I go with Sleep Powder. While it sleeps I change Leaf Balloon for Palm Tree. Then a Confusion takes Golbat down. So next is Typhlosion. Typhlosion goes for Flame Wheel and we miss an Hypnosis. Another Flame Wheel leaves Palm Tree in the red. And we hit the Hypnosis, putting Typhlosion to sleep. Then 2 Confusions put Typhlosion down. Next is Magneton, so I change for Leaf Balloon. Sleep Powder is my choice, so Magneton goes to sleep, and I go for Mega Drain first. Then I go for Headbutt multiple times, and Magneton wakes up and lands a Thunder Wave, paralyzing Leaf Balloon. I put it back to sleep, and 3 Headbutts more, and Magneton goes down. Next is Haunter. I first put it to sleep, but before that, Haunter goes for Curse, so I need to change for Palm Tree. Then a Confusion puts Haunter down, so last is Kadabra. It goes for Future Sight and I use Hypnosis on it, then a single Egg Bomb puts Kadabra down, winning the fight. So now it's time to face the Elite Four. First is Will, the Psychic type trainer. He starts with Xatu and I go with Leaf Balloon. First I go with Sleep Powder and then 2 Headbutts puts Xatu down. Next is Jinx, and the same way it goes. Next is the second Xatu. Sleep powder and 3 headbutts is enough for Za to go down. Next is slow roll, sleep powder and 2 mega drains should be enough. Last is executor, first sleep powder and then headbutt are enough, winning the fight. Next is Koga, the poison type trainer. It starts with Ariados and I go with Palm Tree. Ariados and then Venomoth both go down with a single confusion. Next is Fortress and I go for Hypnosis, which hits, then I attack with Confusion and Fortress goes down. So next is Muck and I put it to sleep. And next I go with Confusion, which crits and Muck goes down. Last is Crobat, and despite using Double Team and Koga healing, Crobat goes down with 3 confusions, winning the fight. Next is Bruno, the fighting type trainer. He starts with Hitmontop and I go with Sunny Seed. I start using some growths. If Hitmontop loads so much Sunny Seed health, I would just Giga Drain to do some damage and heal Sunny Seed. Hitmontop eventually goes down, bringing Hitmonchan. I still continue to go with growths, and then a single Giga Drain puts Hitmonchan down. Hitmonlee comes next, and after hitting a Hype Jump kick, a single Giga Drain puts Hitmonlee down. Next is Machamp. It misses a cross chop, which gives me the opportunity to use Giga Drain and Hoko Machamp. Last is Onix, but I just go for Solar Beam and Onix goes down, winning the fight. Next is Karen, the Dark type trainer. She starts with Umbreon and I go with Blossom. Sleep Powder is my choice, of course. Then I go for Acid and Cut, but eventually Umbreon wakes up and hits a Confuse Ray. I change for Vine, I go for Slam, and Umbreon uses another Confuse Ray. So I change back for Blossom, which puts Umbreon down with Cut. Next is Vileplume, so I change for Palm Tree. Using Confusing, making a lot of damage, but still Vileplume manages to paralyze us, but it still goes down with another Confusion. Next is Murkrow and I change for Plant Whip, which tanks a Feint attack. Murkrow grows for another Feint attack and I go for Sleep Powder. Then I go for 3 growths, and then I go for Razor Leaf, but still is not enough. Murkrow then wakes up and lands a Feint attack, which Plant Whip survives on 15 HP, and then another Razor Leaf puts Murkrow down. Next is Houndoom, so I decide to change for Leaf Bloom. But I forgot that Houndoom knows Pursuit, which means it can hit before I switch, and because of that Plant Whip goes down as well, bringing Leaf Balloon to the battle, and I go for Sleep Powder. I go for some headbutts until Houndoom wakes up and fires a flamethrower. Fortunately Leaf Balloon survives and I go for Sleep Powder again, then I change for Vine. Using Slam, but then Karen heals, then I go for another Slam, thinking that Houndoom might wake up. On the next turn, I go for Sleep Powder. And fortunately I was right, because it wakes. But it goes back to sleep with Sleep Powder. Then it goes down with some Slams, so last is Gengar. I change for Palm Tree, and Gengar goes for Curse, but it goes down with a single Confusion because of that, winning the fight. Now that we beat the Elite Four, we just need to defeat Lance, the Dragon trainer. He starts with Gyarados and I go with Sunny Seed. Knowing for sure it will go for Rain Dance, I use Sunny Day. It goes again for Rain Dance while I go for Growth, and then fires an Hyper Beam, which makes a huge damage, which our berry heals. Then Gyarados misses an Hyper Beam and I go for Solar Beam, which puts Gyarados down. Next is Dragonite, which misses a Blizzard, and I go for Growth. But when I go for Giga Drain, Dragonite fires an Hyper Beam, which puts down Sunny Seed. I decide to bring Palm Tree and I go for Hypnosis, and then I use Strength to put Dragonite down. Next is Aerodactyl. I go again with Hypnosis and then I use Confusion to put Aerodactyl down. Next is Charizard, so I change for Leaf Balloon, which takes a huge damage from Flamethrower. But I know Leaf Balloon is faster, so we can land a Sleep Powder, putting Charizard to sleep. Then I misclick, which I'm glad I did, because Charizard wake up on the next turn, so that means I can put it back to sleep. So I change for Palm Tree, and I use 3 Confusions to finish off Charizard, so next is the second Dragonite. At first it missed a Fire Blast, and I go with Hypnosis, which it wakes up on the next turn. I go with another Hypnosis to put it to sleep, and then I go for Strength, but it wakes up again. Despite Lance healing the sleepness, I continue to put in Dragonite to sleep. then Confusion is enough to put it down. Last is the third Dragonite. First Dragonite uses Thunder Wave, and fortunately Palm Tree connects with Hypnosis. And then I start to attack with Strength. Dragonite still manages to fire an Hyper Beam, but another Strength from Palm Tree is enough to put Dragonite down, winning the fight and becoming the champion. But this is not over yet. We still need to go back to Kanto to defeat the gym leaders from there and try to beat Red, so let's go. So first gym leader is Lieutenant Surge, who starts with Raichu and I go with Palm Tree. A single Egg Bomb puts Raichu down, so next is Electrode. Despite the double team, Electrode goes down with 2 Confusions. Next is Magneton, I go with Confusion, making a little damage, and Magneton goes for Zap Cannon. It doesn't do that much, but still paralyzes Palm Tree. On the next turn, Zap Cannon misses, but we get paralyzed. On the next turn, after the Zap Cannon misses again, we hit a Confusion, leaving Magneton on the red. Next, Magneton misses again, and we go for Strength, finishing off Magneton. Next is the second Electrode. Electrode goes for some double team, but despite missing sometimes, we still manage to win the fight with Confusion, putting Electrode down. So last is Electabuzz. It misses a Thunder, and our Confusion makes some damage. On the next turn it goes for Thunder again, and this time it hits, making some damage. And our Confusion leaves Electabuzz on the red. Lieutenant Surge goes for Hyper Potion, and we get fully paralyzed twice. Palm Tree was getting on low health, so after a Confusion I decide to change for Vine, and Electabuzz missing a Thunder. Then I go for Slam, and Electabuzz hits a Thunder, which also paralyzed Vine. Fortunately we hit with Slam, making some damage, so on the next turn Thunder leaves Vine on just 12 HP, and our Slam still is not enough to put down Electabuzz because of the light screen. So I decide to change for Blossom. Electabuzz goes for Thunder, which crits, and then a cut from Blossom puts Electabuzz down, winning the fight. So time to face Sabrina. She starts with Espeon and I go with Palm Tree. I use Hypnosis to put it to sleep, and then 2 Egg Bombs are enough to finish it out. Next is Mr. Mime. It goes for Reflect while I use again Hypnosis, and thanks to Reflex it doesn't make too much damage, but still we are able to finish Mr. Mime. Last is Alakazam. We missed the first Hypnosis and Alakazam makes some damage with Psychic, but then the second Hypnosis hits, putting Alakazam to sleep, and then a critical hit Egg Bomb finish Alakazam, winning the fight. Next is Erika. She starts with Tangela and I go with Blossom. I use Sleep Powder and I go for Acid. Eventually it wakes up, but Acid still takes it down. So next is Victory Bell. I tried 2 Hypnosis, but since it didn't work I decided to change for Palm Tree, using 1 Confusion to finish Victory Bell. Next is Blossom. I missed 2 Egg Bombs in a row, while Blossom still fires a Solar Beam, not making too much damage. Erika heals, but we still manage to finish Blossom with the next 2 Egg Bombs. Last is Jumpluff, so I change for Blossom, which takes a Mega Drain, then I go for Acid, finally winning the fight against Erika. Next is the fight against Janine, the new Poison type gym leader, but all our Pokemon go down with a single Confusion, so we get an easy fight. So let's face Misty. She starts with Golduck and I go with Palm Tree. 1 Egg Bomb and 1 Strength puts Golduck down. Next is Lapras. I put it to sleep first after Lapras used Rain Dance. I change for Blossom and I go with Acid, but Lapras wakes up and uses Perish Song, so I put it back to sleep. Then I go for Cut, and then I change for Vine before the Perish Song takes Blossom out. Of course I know that Misty will change too, of course, and she sends Quagsire, but a single Mega Drain is enough for Quagsire. She sends back Lapras, and I go for Mega Drain, but Lapras survives on the red, and then Lapras wakes and uses Blizzard, which connects, putting down Vine for good. I could not believe. Now time to mourn, since I have to change for Leaf Balloon to put Lapras to sleep, and then use Headbutt to finish Lapras. Last is Starmie, and I go for Mega Drain to finish quickly, but I completely forgot that Starmie has Ice Speed, making a lot of damage on Leaf Balloon. Fortunately Leaf Balloon survives on the red, then I go for Sleep Powder, which fortunately connects, then I go for Mega Drain after Misty used a full heal, and we finish off Starmie, winning the fight. Well, this sucks. I was hoping I could take Vine with me to Sinnoh and use a Tangrowth. but it seems it wasn't meant to be. Although you weren't the best of them, I know you at least did your best. Rest in peace, Vine. The fight with Brock was very easy. Using only Blossom, I finished every single Brock's Pokemon with just a Pico Drain each. Then I go to Mon Moon, and since I don't usually come here, I forgot that you can find your rival here for a rematch. So yeah, I need to battle him. He starts with Sneasel and I go with Blossom. It goes with Quick Attack and I go with Sleep Powder, of course, and then I hit a Cut. The next cut leaves it on the red, finishing with another one. Next is Golbat, so I change for Palm Tree, which takes a Wing Attack and then a Confusion, Oko, Golbat. Next is Typhlosion. I use Hypnosis first and then 2 Confusions to put it down. Next is Magnetar and I do the same thing, Hypnosis and then 2 Confuses to put it down. Next is Gengar. It only goes for Mid-Look and a single Confusion puts it down. Last is Alakazam. Palm Tree takes a Psychic and I use Hypnosis to put it to sleep, then a single Egg Bomb puts it down, winning the fight. And now that is out of the way, it's time to find my last encounter, a Paras. Welcome back, Mushroom. Then some level ups and Mushroom evolves into Parasect. So now it's time to face Blaine. He starts with Magcargo and I go with Palm Tree. My first Hypnosis doesn't hit, so we take a Flamethrower. Fortunately, the next Hypnosis connects and Magcargo goes to sleep. Then one Confusion and a Strength puts Magcargo down. Next is Magmar, and just like before, Hypnosis missed, which means Magmar is able to hit a Fire Punch, which makes a lot of damage. Fortunately, the next turn we are able to put it to sleep. And then a Confusion and a Strength puts it down. Last is Rapidash, and Palm Tree is not in the good conditions, so I decide to change for Leaf Balloon, which can take a Fire Blast. I know Leaf Balloon is faster, so fortunately Sleep Powder connects and puts Rapidash to sleep. Then I go for Headbutt, while Blaine uses a full heal to wake up Rapidash. So I put it back to sleep with Sleep Powder and I use Synthesis to heal Leaf Balloon back to full. Then I go again for Headbutt, leaving Rapidash on the red. This always happens, I don't know why. Blaine then heals Rapidash with Max Potion. But my next Headbutt makes a crit. Then Rapidash wakes up to land a Fury attack, but it's too late by now. Another Headbutt and Rapidash goes down and we win the fight. So it's time to face Blue, the last gym leader. He goes with Pidgeot and I go with Palm Tree. Palm Tree takes a Wing Attack and we hit a Hypnosis. Then a few Confuses leaves it on the red. Pidgeot then wakes up and lands a Wing Attack before going down with Strength. Next is Executor, and on this mirror match I go for Hypnosis. Of course, when I go for Egg Bomb, Blue uses a full restore to wake up Executor. But no matter, we just go for another Hypnosis and then Chomp heals with full restore again. Okay, this is getting old already, Chomp. Let's try this again. Hypnosis and then Egg Bomb. When I leave it on the red, Executor wakes up. First, I put it back to sleep and then I change for Leaf Balloon using Headbutt to finish off Executor. And next is Arcanine, and this is why I wanted to change for Leaf Balloon. Leaf Balloon is faster, so it can outspeed Arcanine and land a Sleep Powder, putting this fire type to sleep. Then I can change back to Palm Tree, and hoping that it stays sleeping, I go for Confusion, the last one making a crit, and this way Arcanine goes down. Next is Alakazam, so I use Hypnosis, and then 2 Egg Bombs puts Alakazam down. Next is Gyarados. I put Gyarados to sleep and then I use a few Confusions to finish off Gyarados. Last is Rhydon. So I change for Blossom, which takes a Rock Slide, but then I use Giga Drain, taking Rhydon out in one shot and regaining the health back to full, winning the fight. So it's time to face Red, and we are going to face him with only 4 Pokemon. This is going to be tough. It starts with Pikachu and I go with Mushroom. I use Spore to put Pikachu to sleep, then I change for Palm Tree. But Pikachu wakes up right away and lands a Thunder. I go for Hypnosis to put Pikachu back to sleep, and when I go for Confusion, Red uses a full restore. I go for another Hypnosis and then I use Strength to finish off Pikachu. So next is Charizard, and this thing is a threat. I change for Blossom, which can tank almost well a Flamethrower, but fortunately the Fire Spin that Charizard uses miss, so we can land a Sleep Powder, putting Charizard to sleep. Then I change for Palm Tree, and I use 3 confusions, which finishes off Charizard. But the fight is not over yet. Next is Espeon, so you take a Psychic and then use Hypnosis. I'm glad that this time Hypnosis is not failing on me, otherwise we would be screwed. Then 2 Egg Bombs puts Espeon down. Next is Snorlax, and damn, this thing is very bulky. I change for Mushroom and I use Spore to put Snorlax to sleep. Then I go with 5 Growth, and then I use Giga Drain. Then, thinking that Snorlax may wake up on the next turn, I risk to go for Spore. And Snorlax actually wakes up, making Mushroom able to land a Spore, and putting Snorlax back to sleep. After some slashes, Snorlax goes for rest, making me start all over again. I go for a Lost Growth, and then I use Giga Drain, but this Snorlax while sleeping it still can attack by using Snore, and it can flinch, so it's actually annoying. But still I continue to attack until Snorlax wakes up and land a Body Slam that finish off Mushroom. I send Leaf Balloon and I go for Sleep Powder. Then I start to headbutt while Snorlax goes for Snore, while it's sleeping, surviving on the red, of course. And with the last headbutt, we finally defeat Snorlax. Next is Venusaur and I go straight away for Sleep Powder on this one. Then I change for Palm Tree and I go for Confusion, which creates an Oko Venusaur. Last is Blastoise, and I need to be careful with this thing since it has Blizzard. I risk it, and as expected, Blastoise goes for Blizzard, which fortunately misses, and we are lucky enough that Hypnosis hit as well. So now that Blastoise is sleeping, I can drink Blossom safely, and I use 2 Giga Drains to finish off Blastoise, winning the battle and winning the run. Then, this last battle was a little rough. I wasn't expecting to lose so many Pokemons on this challenge, and we lose 2 of them that had won in Kanto, Vine and Mushroom. Well, rest in peace all of you. But yeah, we still managed to get through this challenge without many problems. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you did enjoy and want to see more, put a like on that video and subscribe to my channel if you will appreciate. My next monotype will be about my favorite type, the fiery type. So I will see you on the next one. Peace!